took the job because there weren't many left to take. When people imagine Alaska, they think of silence, snow, and distance. What they don't imagine is how quickly everything disappears when a place starts dying. Businesses close, roads stop being maintained, and the few places that stay open start to feel less like stores and more like outposts. The subway I ended up working at was one of those places. It sat just off a long, empty highway that cut through miles of frozen nothing. No nearby towns, no neighborhoods, no late-night traffic. Just a gas station across the road that had been abandoned for years and a flickering sign that buzzed louder than the wind some nights. According to the hiring ad, it was the last operating subway in the region. That alone should have been enough to make me think twice. But the pay was high. Too high for sandwich work. I'd been out of steady work for months, bouncing between seasonal gigs that never lasted. When I saw the listing, overnight shift, minimal supervision, housing included, I applied without thinking too hard about it. They called me the same day. The interview was barely an interview. The manager, a woman named Carla, didn't ask many questions. She looked tired in a way that went beyond long hours, like something had been wearing her down for a long time. Her eyes kept drifting toward the windows, even though there was nothing out there but darkness and snow. "You understand this location is different?" she asked at one point. I shrugged. "Quiet, right?" She held my gaze for a second too long before nodding. "Yes. Quiet." That was it. I was hired on the spot. Before I left, she handed me a key, a uniform, and a folded piece of paper. "Read this before your first shift," she said. "Employee guidelines," I asked. There was a pause, something like that. I didn't read it right away. I should have. My shift started at 10 p.m. By the time I arrived, the sky was already pitch black, the kind of darkness that feels heavy, like it's pressing down on everything. The subway's green and yellow sign glowed faintly against the snow, one of the letters flickering in an uneven rhythm. The parking lot was empty, not a few cars empty. Completely empty. No tire tracks except my own. That should have been the second warning. Inside, the place looked normal at first glance. Clean counters, stocked ingredients, the faint smell of bread baked hours earlier. But there was something off about the stillness. No background music, no hum of refrigeration. Just a low, almost inaudible vibration that I couldn't quite place. Carla was waiting for me behind the counter. "You made it," she said, like she hadn't been sure I would. "Yeah," I replied, glancing around. "So, I just run the overnight shift alone?" She nodded. "You won't get customers. Maybe one or two if that. Mostly, you're here to keep the store open." "That's it?" Another pause. "Not exactly." She reached under the counter and pulled out another piece of paper. This one wasn't folded neatly. It looked like it had been handled a lot. Edges worn, corners bent. "These are the rules," she said. I laughed a little. "Rules for what? Making sandwiches?" She didn't smile. "Read them carefully," she said, "and follow them exactly. No shortcuts." Something in her tone made the joke die in my throat. "Okay," I said slowly, taking the paper. She leaned closer, lowering her voice. "If something feels wrong, it probably is. Don't try to rationalize it." That sentence stuck with me. Before I could ask anything else, she checked her watch, grabbed her coat, and headed for the door. "Wait," I called after her. "What happens if I don't follow the rules?" She stopped with her hand on the handle but didn't turn around. "You won't last the night," she said. Then she stepped outside and disappeared into the dark. I stood there for a moment, listening to the wind scrape against the building. Then I looked down at the paper in my hands. The rules were written in plain black ink. No company logo, no formatting, just a list. Rules for the night shift. Rule 1. Keep the front lights on at all times. If they turn off, do not attempt to fix them. Go to the storage room and wait exactly 5 minutes before returning. Rule 2. If someone enters the store after midnight, greet them, but do not make eye contact until they speak first. Rule 3. There is no tuna. If anyone asks for a tuna sandwich, tell them you're out. Do not check the fridge to confirm. I frowned. That was odd. Rule 4. If you hear knocking from the restroom, ignore it. The restroom is locked after 10 p.m., and no one should be inside. Rule 5. At 1:17 a.m., the toaster oven will turn on by itself. Do not unplug it. Do not approach it. A chill crept up my spine. I flipped the page over. There were more. Rule 6. If you see someone standing outside by the old gas station, do not acknowledge them. They are too far away to be seen clearly. Rule 7. The security camera feed may freeze. If it shows a person inside the store who is not physically there, turn the monitor off immediately. Rule 8. If the soda machine starts dispensing on its own, leave the area and do not clean it up until morning. Rule 9. If a customer asks how long the store has been open, say since 2008, do not give any other answer. Rule 10. Do not leave before 6 a.m., even if the doors unlock themselves. I read through the list twice. It had to be a joke, some kind of initiation thing. But Carla hadn't seemed like the type. I folded the paper slowly and slipped it into my pocket. All right, I muttered to myself. Just get through the night. For the first hour, nothing happened. I wiped down already clean counters, checked inventory, paced behind the register. The silence stretched on, broken only by that faint vibration I still couldn't identify. By midnight, I was starting to relax. Maybe this really was just a quiet, overpaid job in the middle of nowhere. Then the front door chimed. I froze. The sound was sharp, unnatural in the silence. Slowly, I turned toward the entrance. Someone had just walked in. I hadn't seen any headlights. I hadn't heard a car, but there they were, standing just inside the doorway, snow clinging to their boots. They didn't move, didn't speak, just stood there. And that's when I remembered Rule 2. Greet them, but don't make eye contact. My throat felt dry. Welcome to Subway, I said, forcing the words out. The figure didn't respond, didn't even seem to breathe. I kept my eyes fixed just below their face, somewhere around their chest, trying not to look up. Seconds stretched. Then, finally, they spoke. Their voice didn't match their body. It was too clear, too steady, like it wasn't coming from a person standing in a freezing doorway at midnight, but from somewhere closer, somewhere inside the walls. Are you open? I swallowed. Yeah, we're open. A pause. Then slow footsteps approached the counter. I kept my gaze low like the rule said, focusing on the zipper of their jacket. It was old, worn down, with a small tear near the collar. Details felt safer than faces. What can I get for you? I asked. Another pause. Longer this time. A tuna sandwich. My stomach dropped. Rule 3. There is no tuna. I'm sorry, I said quickly, trying to keep my voice even. We're out of tuna. Silence. Then, can you check? Every instinct told me to just turn around, open the fridge, and prove it. That's what any normal employee would do. But nothing about this felt normal. I already checked earlier, I said. We're out. The air in the store shifted. It's hard to explain, but it felt heavier, like the temperature dropped all at once. You didn't check, the voice said. It sounded closer now. Closer than it should be. My fingers tightened around the edge of the counter. We're out, I repeated. Another long silence. Then the footsteps stopped. I see, they said. I heard movement, fabric brushing, boots turning. and then the soft chime of the door opening again. I didn't look up. Not until I heard it close, not until the silence returned. Only then did I let out the breath I'd been holding. Okay, I whispered to myself. Okay, that was weird, but not impossible. I laughed under my breath, trying to shake it off. A guy wanted tuna, big deal. But my hands were shaking. I glanced at the clock. 12:14 a.m. I still had hours to go. For a while, nothing happened again. I stayed behind the counter, trying to keep busy, but my focus kept drifting back to the door. I found myself listening for footsteps that weren't there, watching reflections in the glass. At exactly 1:17 a.m., the toaster oven turned on. I didn't even need to check the clock. The sudden click and low hum cut through the silence like a knife. I turned slowly. The oven glowed faint orange, heating up on its own. Rule 5, do not approach it. I took a step back instead. Right, I muttered. Just leave it alone. The smell came next. Not burning bread, something else. Something metallic, sharp. I covered my nose, backing further away. The sound of the oven grew louder, like it was working harder than it should, like something inside was resisting. I forced myself to look away. Minutes passed. Eventually the hum faded. The glow dimmed. When I finally looked again, it was off, like nothing had happened. I didn't go near it, not even to check. By 2 a.m., I was exhausted in a way that didn't make sense. Not physically, mentally, like the place itself was draining me. That's when I noticed the security monitor. It was mounted in the corner, showing a grainy black and white feed of the store. At first, everything looked normal, empty, still. Then I saw it. Someone was standing behind the counter, right where I had been a few minutes ago. My chest tightened. Slowly, I turned. The space behind the counter was empty. I looked back at the monitor. The figure was still there, standing perfectly still, facing the camera. Rule 7. If it shows a person inside the store who is not physically there, turn the monitor off immediately. I didn't hesitate. I reached over and shut it off. The screen went black. For a moment, nothing happened. Then, a soft sound behind me, like a footstep. I froze. Every muscle in my body locked up. Slowly, I turned my head. There was no one there, but the feeling that I wasn't alone anymore, that didn't go away. I backed up until I hit the wall, my breathing shallow. This is just stress, I whispered. You're tired, that's all. But deep down, I knew that wasn't true, because the rules, they were working, or something was. At 2:43 a.m., the soda machine started dispensing. It sputtered at first, then poured steadily, dark liquid spilling over the cup holder and onto the floor. I didn't go near it. Rule 8. Instead, I stepped back, watching it from a distance. The liquid kept pouring long after it should have stopped, pooling, spreading, but it didn't smell like soda. It smelled like the toaster oven. Metallic. Wrong. I turned away. I didn't want to see how much was coming out. I didn't want to know. Time started to feel strange after that. Slower, thicker. Like every minute was stretched out just enough to notice. At one point, I checked the clock. 3:12 a.m. A few minutes later, I checked again. 3:05 a.m. My stomach twisted. Rule 7. No. Rule 7 was the camera. Rule 6 was outside. Rule 10 was leaving early. I pulled the paper out with shaking hands. Rule 7. Rule 8. Rule 9. There. Rule 7 was the camera. But further down, Rule 7 had already happened. Where was the time 1? I scanned faster. My eyes landed on it. Rule 7 wasn't the last one. I'd missed something earlier. Rule 11. If the time moves backward, stop what you are doing and stand completely still for 1 full minute. Do not look at any reflective surface during this time. My chest tightened. I had already looked at the clock twice. I forced myself to freeze. Every instinct screamed at me to move, to check again, to confirm. But I didn't. I stood there, completely still, counting in my head. Seconds dragged. The hum of the building grew louder, or maybe I was just noticing it more. At around what I guessed was 30 seconds, I heard breathing. Not mine. Right behind me. Slow, deliberate. I shut my eyes, kept counting. 45. 46. The breathing got closer. I could feel it now, cold against the back of my neck. 58, 59, 60. I moved, spinning around, nothing. Empty store, silence. I staggered back, nearly slipping on the soda-covered floor. "Okay," I said, my voice shaking. "Okay, just follow the rules. That's it. That's all you have to do." But something had changed. Before, the rules felt strange. Now, they felt necessary. Like they were the only thing keeping whatever this was contained. I checked the clock again. 3:18 a.m. Forward. Normal. I exhaled slowly. Just a few more hours. Just make it to 6 a.m. Then I heard it. A soft, rhythmic tapping from the restroom. At first I thought it was just the pipes. Old buildings make noise, especially in the cold. Knocking, shifting, that hollow echo that travels through walls and makes everything sound closer than it is. But this wasn't random, it was steady. 3 taps, pause. 3 taps, pause. I didn't need to check the list. I already knew. Rule 4. If you hear knocking from the restroom, ignore it. The restroom door was at the back, just past the employees-only hallway. I couldn't see it from where I stood, but I could hear it clearly now. 3 taps, pause. 3 taps. It sounded intentional, like someone was trying to get my attention without saying a word. I backed away from the hallway, keeping my eyes forward, forcing myself to focus on anything else. The counter, the menu board, the faint reflection of the flickering lights in the glass. Anything but that door. The tapping continued, consistent, patient. Then, after what felt like several minutes, it changed. The rhythm broke. The next set of knocks came faster. More urgent, then louder. The hollow wood of the door rattled slightly with each hit. I clenched my jaw. Not real. I whispered. Doesn't matter. The rules mattered, not the sounds. Not the curiosity. Another bang. This one harder, followed by something new. A voice. Hello? It was faint, muffled through the door, but unmistakably human. My chest tightened. Is someone there? The voice called. A little clearer now. I think I'm locked in. I took a step toward the hallway before I could stop myself. Every instinct I had screamed at me to help. That was a person. It had to be. No one deserved to be trapped in a restroom in the middle of nowhere. Hey, the voice said again, more desperate. Please. I've been in here for hours. My hand twitched at my side. This wasn't like the other things. This sounded real. Panicked. Cold. I took another step. Then I stopped. Rule 4. Ignore it. No one should be inside. I squeezed my eyes shut, forcing myself to think. If someone had been there before closing, Carla would have known. She would have said something, right? Please, the voice whispered now. I can hear you out there. My stomach twisted. It knew I was there. That didn't break the rule. It didn't change anything. It just made it harder. "I won't tell anyone," the voice added quickly. "Just let me out, please." The tapping started again. Faster, more frantic. "Please, it's getting cold in here." Cold. That word stuck. Why would it be cold inside the restroom? The heating was on. The whole store was warm. Unless it wasn't connected the same way. Unless whatever was behind that door wasn't experiencing the same space I was. I took a step back, then another. The voice kept talking. It shifted tone, less desperate. More focused. "You checked the fridge earlier, didn't you?" My blood ran cold. I hadn't told anyone that. "You should have looked," it continued softly. "You don't even know what's in there." I backed up faster now, shaking my head. "Nope," I muttered. "No, no, no." The voice laughed, quiet. Dry. "You're trying so hard to follow the rules," it said. "But you've already broken them." My heart slammed against my ribs. "Which ones? How many?" The tapping stopped. The silence that followed was worse. Heavier, like the building itself was listening. Then, a single slow knock right against the inside of the door. "I can come out, you know," the voice said. I turned and walked away, fast. Not running, but close. I moved back to the front counter, putting as much distance between me and that hallway as possible. The moment I stepped fully into the main area, the noise stopped. Completely. No tapping, no voice, nothing, like it had never been there. I stood there, breathing hard, staring at the empty store. "Okay," I whispered. "Okay, you did it. You followed the rule." But the words didn't comfort me, because now I understood something I hadn't before. The rules weren't just warnings. They were boundaries. And whatever was in this place, it was trying to get me to cross them. I checked the clock. 4:02 a.m. My stomach dropped. Rule 8. Lock the door between 4 and 4:30. Do not open it for anyone. I rushed to the front entrance and flipped the lock. The click sounded louder than it should have. Final. I stepped back, eyes fixed on the glass doors. The darkness outside pressed in, reflecting my own faint silhouette back at me. For a moment, everything was still. Then, movement across the road, near the old gas station. Something shifted in the snow. I froze. Rule 6. If you see someone standing outside by the old gas station, do not acknowledge them. They are too far away to be seen clearly. But I could see it. Too clearly. A figure. Tall. Standing perfectly still, facing the subway. My breath caught in my throat. That distance, it should have blurred details, but it didn't. I could make out the shape of its arms, the tilt of its head, even the suggestion of a face. That wasn't right. "That's not far enough," I whispered. Or maybe it wasn't as far away as it looked. The figure didn't move, didn't wave, didn't step forward. It just stood there, watching. I forced myself to turn away. "Doesn't matter," I said under my breath. "Don't acknowledge it." The words felt thin, fragile. Behind me, the soda machine let out a final sputter, then went silent. The store felt different now. Like everything had settled into place, like whatever was going to happen was already in motion. I glanced back at the clock. 4:11 a.m., 19 minutes to go. Then I heard it. A soft sound. Right outside the front door. Not from across the road, not from the restroom. From just inches away, a shadow passed over the glass. Slowly. Deliberately. I didn't move. Didn't breathe. Another shadow. Then a knock. gentle, almost polite. The knock came again, softer this time, like whoever, or whatever, was on the other side didn't want to startle me. I didn't move, didn't speak. I just stared at the door, watching the faint outline of a figure through the glass. "Hey," a voice called. Calm, familiar. It took me a second to place it, then my stomach dropped. It was Carla. "Can you open up?" she asked. "I think I left something inside." My grip tightened on the edge of the counter. Rule 8. Do not open the door for anyone. Check the cameras. I turned slowly toward the monitor, then remembered I had turned it off earlier. For a second I hesitated. Then I reached over and powered it back on. Static flickered across the screen before the image returned. Front door view. There she was, Carla, standing just outside, looking normal, maybe a little tired, but normal. "See?" she said, as if she knew I was watching. "It's just me." A chill ran down my spine. She shouldn't have known that. I leaned closer to the monitor. Everything looked right. Her coat, her posture, even the way she shifted her weight slightly from one foot to the other. But something felt off. Too still, too perfect. "Come on," she said, knocking again. "It's freezing out here." I glanced at the clock. 4:18 a.m., still within the window, still not safe. "I can't open the door," I said, raising my voice just enough for it to carry. There was a pause. Then her expression changed, subtly. The concern faded, replaced by something flatter. "Why not?" she asked. "You told me not to," I said. Another pause, longer this time. Then, "I was joking." The words landed wrong, flat, heavy, like they didn't belong in her voice. "You think I'd leave you here alone with all this?" she continued. "Just open the door." I shook my head, even though she couldn't see me directly. "No." Her smile didn't reach her eyes. "Open the door." Each word slower, more deliberate. I stepped back from the monitor. "No." The knocking stopped for a moment. There was nothing. Then she leaned closer to the glass, too close, her face pressed near the door, just slightly distorted by the reflection. "You let the first one in," she said quietly. My heart skipped. "I saw you." The air in the room felt colder. "He asked for tuna," she continued. "And you talked to him anyway." "That was the rule," I said, though my voice wavered. "You think that saved you?" Her head tilted slightly. The motion was wrong, not smooth, not natural. "You've been following instructions written by something that lives here," she said. "And you trust it more than me?" I didn't respond, because I didn't know the answer anymore. Another pause. Then she sighed and stepped back. "Fine," she said. "Stay in there." Her tone changed again, back to normal. Almost. "I'll wait." She moved just out of view of the camera. I stared at the monitor, expecting her to reappear. She didn't. The space outside the door was empty, but the feeling that she was still there didn't go away. Minutes passed. Slow. Heavy. I kept my eyes on the screen, my ears tuned to every sound. Nothing. No footsteps. No knocking. Just silence. Then the clock clicked. 4:30 a.m. Exactly. The tension in my chest loosened slightly. The rule window was over. I waited another minute, then another. Still nothing. Finally, I stepped toward the door. My hand hovered near the lock. "Just check," I muttered. "Just a quick look." I unlocked it, slowly, carefully. and pulled the door open. Cold air rushed in immediately, sharp and biting. I stepped outside. The parking lot was empty. No footprints, no car, no sign that anyone had been there at all. I turned in a slow circle, scanning the darkness. Nothing. Across the road, the gas station and the figure. Still there, still watching. I stepped back inside and shut the door quickly, locking it again. My hands were shaking. Almost done, I whispered. Just make it to 6. The next hour passed in a blur. No more voices, no more knocking. Just the low hum of the building and the occasional flicker of the lights. At 5:58 a.m., the first hint of dawn crept into the sky. Faint, gray, but enough to break the darkness. I stood by the counter, watching the clock tick forward. 5:59, 6. The moment it changed, something shifted. Not visibly, but I felt it, like a weight lifting. Like the building itself had exhaled. The front lights flickered once, then steadied, and just like that, it was over. A car pulled into the lot. Real this time. I watched the headlights approach, listened to the crunch of tires on snow. Carla stepped out, the real Carla. She walked to the door and knocked once. Normal, solid. I unlocked it and let her in. She took one look at me and nodded slightly. "You made it," she said. "Yeah," I replied, my voice dry. Her eyes scanned the store briefly, then settled back on me. "Anything unusual?" I let out a short, hollow laugh. "What do you think?" She didn't smile. Instead, she reached into her pocket and pulled out a folded piece of paper. Another list. Clean. Untouched. "For tonight," she said. I stared at it. Then back at her. "I'm not coming back," I said. She tilted her head slightly. "Most don't." That confirmed it. This wasn't a one-time thing. This wasn't random. This place ran on this. "Then why is it still open?" I asked. Her expression didn't change. "Because it has to be." That answer wasn't enough. But it was all I was going to get. I took off the uniform shirt, set the keys on the counter, and stepped past her. She didn't try to stop me. Outside, the cold air felt different now. Cleaner. Real. I got into my car and started the engine, my hands still unsteady. As I pulled out of the lot, I glanced once in the rearview mirror. The subway looked smaller in the daylight, less threatening. Almost normal, but across the road, the figure was gone. And for a second, just a second, I thought I saw someone standing inside the store, behind the counter, watching me leave. I didn't look back again. I just drove, and I haven't been back since.